I'm not gonna bury the lead. Jump Masters is great. Thank God we're done with that shit. I gotta take a nap. Oh, Jump Masters is a game truly unlike any other I've ever played. You've heard the phrase, a minute to learn, a lifetime to master? Othello, you can move the hello ver. Because this game's in town. Come on. Jump Masters, kindly provided to board and savior by Neon Knight via Chip Theory Games, is described as a cute, cutthroat, hyper-tactical twist on Chinese checkers designed by Manny Tremblay. Now, I have never played Chinese checkers. I was too busy eating the marbles. The central difference between Chinese checkers and traditional checkers, which originates from maybe Egypt, maybe the Middle East, we're not too sure, but we know damn well where Chinese checkers come from. China is exclusively diagonal jump ability or jump ability from any direction. As a Chinese checkers variant, legal jumps in Jump Masters include both the traditional diagonal jump and the sultry orthogonal jump. I wish these were marbles, I'm hungry. But jumping all about is not your only means of travel in this game. No, sir! You can also take a step, a single node move, or a run, a double node move. That's what's available to you on your turn. You pick one of your 4 dice and you either step with it, run with it, or jump with it. And if you jump, you can jump multiple times in a sick-ass jump sequence like this. Jump, jump, jump. You'll notice that each of these dice has some numbers on them, as dice are wont to have. They all start off as measly 1 energy dice, but can be upgraded by jumping over friendly heroes, friendly dice. So that move that you just saw me do takes this die from a crappy little 1 to a 2, 3, 4 energy die. Do you get why this is so cool yet? No, you don't, and that's okay. I'm not done talking yet. You ever heard of a victory point? Well, if you have, it's probably not going to shock you to learn that in this game, you want them. There are 2 ways to get them. First, if you start your turn and you have more energy in dice on this central hill than your opponent, you get 1 point. Simple. The other way in this game about jumping is by, get this, jumping. But not over your own friendly dice who energize you. No. You got the wrong idea. It's by jumping over opposing dice and draining them of their very life force. You will watch as an adorable rabbit withers to dust in front of your vampire cat who stands over the charred husk laughing, feeling no remorse at all for the spark of life that it just snuffed out. Because when any hero is defeated in this game, it just redeploys immediately at 1 energy. It's really not that bad. When you incorporate an attack into your jump sequence, here's how it works. Both the active hero, your die, and the opposing hero, the other die, lose 1 energy. You will repeat this process until 1 or both of the dice have been reduced to 0 energy, meaning that on every single attack, at least 1 hero is guaranteed to be defeated. In this example, Catula has 3 energy and jumps over Bernie, who has 2. Catula is reduced from 3 to 2 energy and Bernie from 2 to 1, then Catula from 2 to 1 energy and Bernie from 1 to 0. Bernie has been defeated. The active player, the jumper, gets victory points equal to the defeated opposing hero's maximum energy. We can see on Bernie's card that his max energy is 3, so that is 3 victory points for me. If the active hero is defeated, the opposing player, the one whose die was jumped over, gets the victory points. Same deal if both heroes are defeated, the opposing player gets those points. So if you're the active player, you probably only want to be making an attack if you're the one doing the defeating. In case you were wondering, it is absolutely possible to attack multiple times in a single jump sequence. This, boop, 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 is completely legal and a fine move. Those are the rules. When it's your turn, choose one of your dice and step, run, or jump with it. Get points by defeating opposing dice and by holding the central hill. First to 20 points is the winner. Every hero has a unique special ability, but they're all really quick to learn. This guy can deal damage to a close-by opposing hero after taking a step. This dude can pull another hero toward him after making a jump. This guy can steal an energy from an adjacent hero after taking a step. They're all simple and sharp like that. So you learn the game in, what, like 3 minutes or something like that? What's this about a lifetime to master? The decision space in this game is, frankly, absolutely ridiculous. On your turn, you can move 1 or 2 spaces or make a jump. So take this guy. He can move here or here or here or here. That's already kind of a bunch of options, but you have to remember, on any turn, you can move any of your dice. I did the math, and there are 32 possible opening moves, and that is without taking any special abilities into account. 32 legal opening moves. Huh? Which one is the best? I mean, this one seems good, but does it set up my next turn to be great? And of course, as the game progresses, your decision space widens. Because if you do this, it leaves you vulnerable to that, but if you're going to do that, you better make sure you considered this. Let's take a real example from a game I played the other day so I can stop speaking in vagaries. I was, as I often am, in the market for some victory points, and my hero Torturn seemed like he was in a position to get me some. I could jump with Torturn over a friendly hero to gain some energy, and then jump over this opposing Wolf Rider, reducing Wolf Rider to 0 and Torturn to 2. This would net me 5 victory points since Wolf Rider's max energy is 5. Now, this opposing Rora was staring down at my Torturn, and I was, before I even made the move, aware that that was how things were going to end up. And I was okay with it, because if Rora took out Torturn, it would leave that mangy lion at just 1 energy, with one of my dice in the vicinity to get over there in a turn or two and clean up the mess. But I wasn't smart enough to see that I had completely accidentally set up a much more devious trap. If Rora took out my Torturn, it would leave Rora at 1 energy, and I could clean up the mess not in a couple of turns, but on my very next turn, because this hero all the way over here has a special ability that says that he can reduce his own energy by 1 in order to deal 1 damage to an opposing hero within 4 nodes. So my opponent couldn't attack with Rora, because doing so would have left him with a 5 victory point deficit. He did something else on his turn, and on my next turn, Torturn was able to slip away and live to fight another day thanks to the protection of his good friend Uni. It is not lost on me how stupid I sound saying all these names. But that sequence and a few others made me realize what this game is at its core. It's not checkers, it's chess. A little bit more garishly colored, sure, but it's chess. A relatively simple rule set, pieces that have their own abilities, and a board that lets you go just about anywhere and set up just about any kind of move. All of that may sound purely positive, and there is a lot of positive that comes with it, but I do want to address some of the not so lovely things this game makes me feel, and then I will gush. The main critique I've got is cognitive dissonance. This game looks like candy and plays like broccoli. I like broccoli. I have many broccoli games, but this one looks like candy. Do I want my deeply tactical board games to have this aesthetic vibe? Not really. Manny Tremblay, our designer and artist for Jump Masters, also co-designed and did the artwork for Dice Throne, a delightful Yahtzee-ish combat game. The art style is very similar to this, but the gameplay there is much more in line with its look. It is simple, it's punchy, and it's not that deep. I know it's kind of crazy to say my steak is too juicy and my lobster's too buttery, but I think Jump Masters is just a little too brain-burny for what it appears to be. Another sort of sour point is also born out of a lot of goodness. I like what we've got here. I just wish there was more. The game comes with 2 copies of 10 heroes, so 20 heroes total. The copies have swapped color palettes on their cards and their dice, so you can play with 2 copies in the same game without getting them confused, and the 10 heroes that come in the box does mean that you have enough for a 2-player game to have both players play with completely unique heroes if that's what you want to do. This is almost a tick in the positives, right? I like this game enough that I already want an expansion. I'm not naive enough to think that it's straight up easy to design new heroes to fit into this system in a balanced way, but come on, would a couple more heroes really have killed you? It's good when a game leaves you wanting more, but I want more so much here that the sensation I get is that something is missing, as though there are another 10 heroes just sitting in a Google Doc waiting for an expansion. Maybe this is what the game was always intended to be. Maybe it was really tough to balance the heroes that we did get, so asking for more is a tall order. But I wish we got more. In addition, if I haven't said enough bad things about a game I do genuinely like, this artwork is not my cup of chamomile. I don't even know what we'd call this style. Clearly cartoony, very saturated, kind of a comic book for kids vibe going on. Art is subjective, blah, blah, blah. It's not for me. However, I really dig this game. I have to know when I pull it off the shelf that it's going to be much more of a chess or a yinch than an air, land, and sea or a dice throne, but I can remember stuff. It's chip theory, so the components are great. This is a deluxe copy, so it is a neoprene playmat and then glass and plastic tokens instead of a cardboard board and cardboard tokens. You can save yourself $10 buying the undeluxified version, so if money is tight, go for that. But if you can splurge, this does all feel nice to play with. And yeah, I do instantly want more. I already mentioned the heroes, but also terrain. These 2 terrain types just block movement, but this terrain type gives you energy whenever you land on it. What other terrain pieces might shake up the arena? I don't know. I'm just a boy. All right. The moment you've all been waiting for, my score out of 10. The gameplay gets an 8. But the game itself gets a 7.5. I'm sorry, I don't like the look of it. If Jump Masters interests you, check out the GameFound page, which is linked in the description. The campaign has ended, but you can still order it in the Pledge Manager. And now, I didn't know where else to put this, so here it is at the end. Enjoy.
Wake up, board gamers! It's Jump Masters, new from Neon Night Games. Perform slamming steps, radical runs, and jiggy jumps.
I thought I said nothing gnarly under my roof.
Look again, Mr. Broccoli.
What?
Jump Masters from Neon Night Games.
Also subscribe or whatever.